you're worried about planning a trip to Sintra alone from Lisbon, don't worry, here's your guide. So just woke up early to head down to breakfast. They have a really nice cooked breakfast here, and I'm just gonna prepare and then head off to go to Sintra to explore things like the Pena Palace and more. I'm super excited. Good morning, everyone. Today I'm here on the public transit. I am taking the train from Lisbon to Sintra. You can actually get a day pass for like 10 euros 60 cents that covers all the buses, trains, trams, and even the train that takes you to Sintra. So you can get there on your own without having to pay 80 euros for a tour. I'm super excited to get out there and see not just the Pena Palace, but a few other castles and historic buildings. But it's definitely a great day trip or half-day trip. I'm just doing a half-day, but there's so much to see there. You can stay overnight, and there's some hostels and hotels there. But tomorrow I leave to go to Casablanca, so I'm definitely excited for that. But I need to prepare, and yeah, just excited to go see where I've been seeing these photos that are just so beautiful come from. So let's get ready to explore Sintra and the Pena Palace. As I learned later, as you first arrive, there are buses right outside of the train station that offer round-trip hop-on, hop-off service for about 10 euros and are a good deal. I took the walk into town, and it wasn't so bad, and it was great to be able to soak in the beautiful sights of Sintra around me. Finally arrived at Sintra. It's about a 45-minute train ride, and there's a bunch of tours you could take, either that leave from Lisbon or that you get right when you leave the train station. However, I just kind of wanted to walk around and do it myself, and you can see a lot of different cool things like this and not have to pay to do that. So if you were here, you could spend here all day or probably a few days taking pictures because every place is so beautiful. This is the Sintra Town Hall behind me, and it just comes up to you as you walk around that corner. And yeah, but I need to keep moving because if I keep stopping, I will be here for ages. But next up, I'm trying to get to the Quinta da Regaleira, and I'm gonna walk there, and then maybe there's some public buses that you can take to get to the top where the Pena Palace is, but I heard it's also quite a hike. Let's go check out the Centro Histórico of Sintra. Welcome to Sintra. This is the Palace Nacional of Sintra. And you can come here as well by walking and just chill out at one of the many cafes that are in Sintra. I think it's kind of interesting that when you're here, you can actually get to most things by walking or public transit, but then a lot of these tuk-tuks and other things will charge an arm and a leg to just get up to see things that you can walk up for free, like the Palacio Nacional de Sintra. But for now, we're going to continue on to the Quinta da Regaleira. I'm definitely butchering that. So far, as you can see, very, very scenic. Oh, that's a very cute street. And all the way up there are the castles. So right now, almost at the palace, and going to head after that using the public transit to continue up to the Pena National Palace. And yeah, I'm just so excited. I kind of like doing it on your own versus a big tour sometimes, especially because if you like to photos and read a lot about the history of the place while you're at it, just is nice to not feel rushed on a large group tour. And this is definitely doable without one, and really pleasant just to take your time and walk around, because this has to be one of the most beautiful towns in Europe, and no wonder why it's like a World UNESCO Heritage Site. And yeah, definitely something to check out. Literally around every corner you find something like this. So excited to finally be at the Quinta da Regaleira. This was built in the 19th century in the spirit of Romanticism, and when you come here, it literally feels like you are in a fairy tale. I mean, I just entered the place, and it already has this calm, serene feeling compared to Lisbon being a little bit more hectic. It's just beautiful. and welcome to Sintra. We're here and you can see all of the palaces from this point in vantage. Okay, so it's already off to a great start. I'm in love with the Quinta da Regaleira, and I'm now heading to the Initiative Well, which is definitely a very, you've seen it on Instagram for sure. It looks so pretty, but there's so much here. There's the main house over here as well. So many things to see. And this is just one of like a few different castles in Sintra. You know, you see all these beautiful pictures of the Quinta da Regaleira and the Pena Palace, but one thing they don't tell you about is it is such a hike. All of Lisbon actually in Sintra is a giant hike, but it's so worth it for these beautiful views, and it's basically art, all this stuff. Wow. The highlight of this palace, the initiation wells, which were used for Mason rituals. The style of most of this architecture built in the 19th century was Romanticism. They wanted it to symbolize just like another place, a place to escape the world. And this is just filled with beauty and enchantment that, like, honestly, you can only find in Europe. I know there's some people that are like, oh, going to all these castles aren't worth it, or you see castle after castle, but these are all very unique. Definitely worth your time when you're in Sintra and Lisbon. The entrance to the wells was as mysterious as what lie beneath the ground. This spot was used by the Freemasons as an initiation well. Only after I visited that there were so many Masonic symbols throughout the property. Lead historians to believe that Antonio Augusto Carvalho Montero was a part of the Freemasons himself. Right now, just heading down the well. It's a one-way traffic only because there's so many people, but it is very, very deep well, as you can see. The saying, "only in darkness can you see light," must have inspired the building of these tunnels. One leads to an unfinished initiation well and the other to a waterfall in the gardens. I'm almost done finishing seeing the rest of the Quinta da Regaleira, and there's just a few more things to see here, such as the main palace right over my right shoulder, the chapel, and a few other things. But there's so many cute aspects of this place that you see around every corner, like just these random fountains that are everywhere, but beautiful. I mean, I don't even know how to describe it, but the romanticism is definitely throughout the architecture at this place. Finally, it was time to check out the main house, the last stop of the Quinta da Regaleira. This is the music room. The roofs remind me of the palace in Madrid, actually, with such amazing detail. Decorated in the Rocaille style, the small room was designed for the family ladies' social gathering. This palace is so pretty. It has a great view of the Pena Palace and the Sintra Royal Palace outside, and just has so much ornate detail on the roof. Look at it. Wow. It also has an amazing view. Check this out. Also, it has an amazing view. Check this out. So I'm just about done at the palace here, but I'm very excited that I'm heading to the Pena Palace. But definitely a beautiful place. Now just heading to go to Pena Palace. That was an amazing time exploring the Quinta da Regaleira, and now I'm just heading to probably get a snack and then grab a ticket to go to the Pena Palace. But yeah, this is totally doable without a tour guide. I mean, like, if you want more history in a sense of more of the architecture, I would definitely get it, but they give you a flyer that gives you some information about it. As always, Google is your best friend, and I just really wanted to, you know, go around on my own, not have a long tour, and take my time. But now, off to the Pena Palace before they close at 6. It's about 3, and I'll probably grab a snack to in town in the Centro Historico, and that's where you can grab the bus that takes you to the top where Pena Palace is. Yeah, there's a little bit of a walk, but there are also tuk-tuks, so if you are unable to walk, there is a way to get up there. Still without a tour, just for a few extra euros, you're able to get up. But yes, let's go explore Pena Palace. So after going to one of the castles, I really needed a break, so I came to a pizzeria and got a latte and a sweetbread because I'm hungry. But look how massive this sweetbread is. After this, I'm charging my phone up a bit and then we'll head up to Pena Palace. So just got finished with the bus. Time to buy a ticket. So I just got the ticket to go to the Pena Palace. You can either go to the park for 7 euros, but for 14 euros you can go to the park as well as inside the palace. And not only that, you can take the bus up and down all day around Sintra for 10 euros. It's a hop on, hop off bus service, and or you could just take one way for 3.90 euros. So if you're at the end of the day and you don't have time to do it all and you just have a few things you want to see, I recommend that. Some people even hike up or down one way, and that's also another option. But I'm really excited to see Pena Palace. They close at 7, so I'm just going to do that and chill and watch the beautiful sunset from the Pena Palace. Welcome to the Pena Palace. Okay, this is definitely a trek. You either have to take the bus up here or you could take a tuk-tuk for about 15 euros round trip. And once you get up here, there's even more of a walk, 550 meters. And you could take one of those things for 3 euros all day. Or you just walk the 20 minutes uphill to get to the palace. And it's a pretty walk anyway, so I decided why not do it. I'm only here once probably, so let's make the most of it. Just entering the Pena Palace in Sintra. Just about 45 minutes outside of Lisbon. Super cool. But this is such a beautiful spot. You can either pay just to come into the gardens for 7 euros, or you can go inside the palace for 14 euros in total. Pretty awesome. Just heading inside to the palace interior and seeing the terraces that are so famous here. Let's go. I'm so glad I got to make it here after 3 years. When I came here originally, honestly, I wasn't seeing as many cultural things as I should have been when I was in Lisbon. And now I'm just so revitalized and being able to see everything from the history to the culture, these beautiful palaces of all different types of architecture styles. It's amazing. But let's go and check out the rest of the palace. Right now, just entered the interior of the Pena Palace, and it costs an additional 7 euros after you enter to be able to come in here. Not just for the terraces, you get everything. You get the interior of the palace and get to see the beautiful area like this. Basically, guys, this is unreal because we have all of the Pena Palace to ourselves almost. It's so quiet. Usually this place has huge lines, so I'm very lucky that I'm able to see it right now like this. One thing you'll notice in this area of the Pena Palace is the ceiling, which you can tell actually came from the old refectory for monks. This was actually converted into a palace, and one thing they added were these tiles made by ROSSIO, and they got all the furniture made in Lisbon. So everything was very custom, and they wanted it to really reflect 19th century styles and moving into a new age of what a palace would look like. And it created such an interesting design, a mixture of a palace of the rich king with a monk's refectory. I mean, I don't know who came up with it, but it was a good idea. This was actually the bedroom of King Carlos. It's actually quite small. I don't think I would fit in this bed. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. But for real, this is definitely a unique experience to be able to come to a place like the Pena Palace, and there's not many people here. I think that's one of the perks of if you come on your own by taking the public transit and getting the bus. You don't have to have all the crowds of a large tour bus and can explore at your own leisure. So let's continue on to see more of the terraces as well as the Pena Palace. Bye, King Carlos. Oh, on the second floor we have these rooms that were converted into rooms for the bedroom of the secretary. And as you can see, a pretty cool bathroom with a tub and everything. And we have the bedroom for the lady in waiting as well, with a pretty epic view. So this was the great hall where they would host giant celebrations, and definitely one of the best rooms in the place with these high ceilings and the beautiful chandelier right behind you. Definitely one of my favorite rooms. But it's closing, so we have to get going. King Manuel, the last King of Portugal's desk and office. Before sunset, it's nice to grab a cup of coffee or a snack at the restaurant and then head to watch it by the terraces. Perfect to be here for golden hour, and the photos and the colors just look amazing. The bright yellow, the sun, and the ocean off in the distance. This is definitely a must when you come to Lisbon. And if you don't make it here, you don't have time to make it here, that just means you have to book another ticket to come to Portugal. Because it is awesome. And a sparkly shimmer on our skin, restoring everything within. Gosh guys, golden hour here at the Pena Palace is absolutely astounding. And honestly, I feel like I have the whole place to myself. We have the ocean in the background. We have the beautiful yellow building behind us, and it feels like basically a kid made this place because it's just so beautiful, from the clock tower up here to all the tile work that has some arabesque flavors to it, since we're not that far from Morocco. And they actually were here for a while, so that's why there's a lot of different ornate features. As you can see, there was a room where it was like the Arab cabinet room, and they actually had made a room inspired by some Arabian designs. But for now, I'm gonna head back, take the bus, then the train, and get back to Lisbon for dinner. Lols, you remember when I said I was gonna make the last bus at 7? Well, it actually was at 6:20. So now I'm hiking 2.2 kilometers to the Sintra train station, which isn't so far. It says it should be like 30 minutes, and it's all downhill. And honestly, it's a pretty walk, so I don't mind. Tomorrow I head to Casablanca, so tonight's my last night. I'm gonna get one more like amazing meal and then head to Morocco. I'm so excited to get to Morocco. It's actually where my dad is from. I'm half Moroccan and I've never been, so this is country 51, and I think it's going to be really special to connect more with the culture, learn more about how to cook the food and more. But yeah, definitely excited. Tomorrow, early morning flight, well, 9:30 a.m., so I have to get up at like 6. But it will be a good day. I'm gonna go to Morocco. If you enjoyed this video, then please hit subscribe and the notification bell so you're made aware of the adventures that are about to happen in Morocco. Also, if you have any questions, please leave a comment below and like this, because it's just a way you can easily show your support for my channel.